Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to be breaking down the build I used to get an insane speedrun of the Maliwan takedown for Moxie's takedown challenge. Since I posted 2 speedruns, I figured people would want me to break down the build and tell you guys exactly what you're going to want to be looking for when farming for these items, like which rolls and whatnot. So let's get straight into it. Before I break down the build, I would appreciate it if you could drop a like on this video. And if you want to see more content like this, then consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you want to join the Zane Nation Discord channel, link will be in a pinned comment down below for that. So let's get straight into it. This is pretty much an RPG only build. We're focusing on the Scourge and the Nukem. The Scourge is your top tier A+ RPG for bossing, and the Nukem is your top tier A+ RPG for mobbing. And we're also using the antifreeze class mod instead of the See and Dead. So if you don't have the DLC, you'll be able to use this build. Now I know we're using the Nukem and that's from the DLC, but I also have a budget alternative for you guys as well. Now I also want to mention what makes this build possible is how ammo efficient the Nukem is. It only consumes 1 ammo per shot, and we're also picking up a bunch of ammo off of dead enemies. And we have a little bit of kind of ammo regen built into this build that we're going to get into. So let's get straight into the weapons and what I think you should be looking out for. First is the Nukem. In my opinion, Sentinel Cryo is the way to go with this weapon. Garwood has been playing like pretty similar build to this as well, but he's been using 125% splash damage. But in my opinion, it's too much micromanaging anointments. We both had very similar times. In my opinion, like both our builds are basically equal in power. It just comes down to, skill and the times. And yeah, in my opinion, Sentinel Cryo is the way to go. The main reason is while mobbing is when we're using the Nukem. Occasionally I fire off a Scourge shot while mobbing, but the main factor for my choice of anointments comes down to bossing. For most bosses, it won't be a problem activating your splash anointment and then killing the boss before it's over. But for Wotan in particular, with the long boss fight, we're swapping weapons a lot. So our anointments are constantly getting turned on and off. And in my opinion, Sentinel Cryo is just really easy to manage. And yeah, it's like, I don't have to prove this anointment to you guys. It's great. Like I said, I swap weapons a lot. And there's definitely multiple times where I don't think our anointment will be active. So next, we are playing 2 Scourges. Obviously, you're going to want to element match this for whatever boss you're fighting. But for the Maliwan takedown, you're going to want Shock and Corrosive. I also have Sentinel Cryo on these weapons as well. The new 100% Sentinel Cryo is just so amazing. I prefer this anointment for the same reasons I mentioned a second ago. Especially with the Scourges, we're going to be swapping weapons to element match. So a lot of the times, it's just going to be really easy and really beneficial to have Sentinel Cryo instead of a splash anointment. But it's up to you. It's obviously possible, as Gar would prove, to use these splash anointments. But he's also very good at micromanaging with his barrier and clone a lot. But once again, totally up to you guys, but personally, I like using Sentinel Cryo. Another thing I want to mention is the Shock Scourge with Sentinel Cryo is amazing for mobbing. This just element combination, you tear through shields, and then the Cryo gives you the backbone to get through flesh and armor. It's amazing. In the first area with the Kraken, I actually spam this a lot to clear the mobs extra fast. But the Scourge eats a ton of ammo, which is why the Nukem is great. But the Scourge can definitely be used to just literally clear whole fields of enemies if you slide and shoot this into them. I definitely suggest shooting 1 or 2 of these into crowds and then finishing everyone else with Nukems. And finally, for the last gun I was using is the KillOhWisp with Sentinel Cryo. Now, this is also the budget alternative I was talking about to the Nukem. If you don't have the DLC, I was actually using, while I was more so testing the KillOhWisp. In my earliest runs, I was getting consistent 7-minute runs. You basically just want to slide and shoot this a whole bunch of times. It's going to do a ton of damage, and it's so great for mobbing. It's like a mini lump. Someone called it that in my Discord. It's actually a really great comparison. because it connects to every enemy in the entire area. It's so easy to slide and shoot because you don't really have to aim it. And yeah, besides that, you can really just spam this weapon really hard if you're just kind of bunny hopping and shooting it. And this weapon is very strong in my opinion. And like I said, if you don't have the DLC, you can use this over the Nukem and you'll get good results. Just make sure you get Sentinel Cryo on this for sure. You definitely need that anointment for this weapon to do good damage. Now on to the class mod. We're actually using an antifreeze. Now this is a very decent class mod. The main reason why this class mod is so powerful is because of Violent Momentum. Violent Momentum on Zane is easily his highest damaging skill. The antifreeze in general also gives us some decent bonuses. Jumping while shooting for an easy 40% bonus damage isn't bad. You don't get cryo immunity, which sucks, but you at least get a little bit of extra speed while you're cryoed, and it's definitely better than just getting stuck in place. You know, cryo is one of my most hated things in this game when I get cryoed. Probably because I play Zane, but yeah. Now, the most important roles you're actually looking for is heavy damage and splash damage. I'm actually going to make a video on why 25% weapon damage is not what you want on Zane class mods, but just trust me for now when I say you want to look for weapon-specific damage like heavy weapon damage or shotgun damage if you're using the KillOhWisp, or splash damage. Those bonuses will give you a lot more than just generic weapon damage. So yeah, those are what you're looking for. Moving on to the artifact, we are playing the one and only Snowdrift. Now, I think the most important role on here is actually magazine size. It basically allows you to shoot your Scourges twice instead of once. And depending on your Nukem, it'll give you an extra shot there as well, which is very nice. Now, the next bonus you'll be looking for on here is AoE damage. This is basically splash damage, but on artifacts you can't get splash damage, so AoE does the same thing. Now on to the grenade and shield. The grenade actually doesn't matter at all to this build. I'm not using any grenade skills. Now if you want to use a grenade skill, a piss grenade will be the best, but the most important thing is the corrosive or shock on action skill end. You basically want these two elements for the takedown. So whatever element you have on your shield, if it's corrosive or shock, just get a grenade with the opposite and you're going to be good to go. Now onto the shield. I'm actually running the Big Boom Blaster. Now there's two reasons why the shield is so great for this build. The first is obviously going to be the boosters that give us rocket ammo. You're going to pick these up and it's going to basically keep you going. Now we also pick up a lot of rocket ammo off of enemies we kill. So this isn't the most necessary thing about it, but the second reason why the shield is so good is because this shield actually has one of the faster recharge delay and recharge rates in the game. Not only that, but the boosters give you 60% shield, and this is very important for the Guardian rank skill Topped Off. So what Topped Off does, most of you probably know this, but it's an important interaction for this build in general and speedrunning as well. Basically, if your shields are full, it gives you extremely fast cooldown rates. Now, if you don't have Guardian rank, you can put some points into Zane's skill Adrenaline, and I'm going to tell you guys in the skill tree is where you can get those points from. I'm only not using Adrenaline because we have Topped Off, and the Big Boom Blaster is very important for keeping your shields full and getting some rocket ammo back. Now, the best roll on this, in my opinion, is actually bullet absorption. You can roll up to two times bullet absorption for 30% total, which is kind of insane. But it's a rare drop. I would just focus on getting either corrosive or shock on action skill end. So that's pretty much it for the gear. Let's go over these skill trees pretty quickly. Now, this is a pure clone and drone build. We have all the usual suspects: Violent Momentum, Violent Speed, Cool Hand, Playing Dirty, Synchronicity, Donnybrook, all of our top tier Zane DPS skills that we love using. What's actually really cool about my version of this build is I'm using Good Misfortune and Borrowed Time to keep our Sentinel up for a very long time, since the Nukem and Scourge will basically one-shot all mobs in the takedown. It's really easy to chain kills together and get Good Misfortune to trigger over and over and over and over again. I keep my Sentinel through the entire Kraken, all the way to, I want to say, just before halfway through the Valkyries, and then I usually deploy my Sentinel before the Valkyrie fight is finished again, and then I keep it for a pretty long time after that, like all the way up into the bridge. So Good Misfortune was actually a very great skill before the See Undead class mod came out, but it was just overshadowed by Calm Cool Collected. And then when the See Undead class mod came out, it overshadowed Calm Cool Collected. So yeah, it's a great skill, and that's why I was using it. Now, the other thing I want to mention is Cold Bore. This skill isn't 100% necessary in my opinion, but the extra cryo damage on Scourge shots can be crucial when your Sentinel goes down during the Valkyrie fights, like I said. The main thing it helps us with is to get a faster Wotan kill. This skill is probably necessary for speedrunning in my opinion, just because like during the Wotan kill, I'm swapping through RPGs like really fast. Like a lot of the time, you know, we take out his shield, then we swap and immediately take out his armor. It's pretty much the speedrunning skill, but otherwise I think you could spend these points in other places. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the swap, I believe it's 30% cryo damage. Like that plus the Shock Scourge is a pretty strong combo. I wasn't even using this in earlier runs, and the main use I found from it is during the Wotan fight to get a very fast kill on him. You can put these points anywhere else. Now, if you have the Guardian rank skill topped off, then I don't suggest using Adrenaline. With topped off, Adrenaline will only actually save you an extra second or two on your clone and Sentinel, which I don't think is worth it. Now, besides all that, this build is pretty simple to play. The main thing is just try not to kill yourself with the Nukem. The AoE of the Nukem is huge. Keep in mind, all of our damage is coming from violent momentum, so always jump, bunny hop, all that. When you're shooting your Scourge, you want to be sliding. You're going to get insane damage bonuses with it. But when it comes to the Nukem, I don't recommend sliding at all while mobbing. Now, for specific bosses, you definitely want to slide with the Nukem, but in general, it's very hard to aim and slide the Nukem effectively. So I really don't suggest it in most situations. Now, the one situation I am going to bring up is for Wotan's head. When Wotan and his head are splitting, if you slide and get a really good shot at Wotan while he's splitting, you will one-shot the head, as long as you have Sentinel Cryo. That's what I did in most runs. Now, in my 5 minutes and 48 second run, if you guys watched that, it's probably playing in the background somewhere. You guys noticed I also shot a Scourge at Wotan while he was splitting. I was going for the one shot, which I pulled off in this video, but I've only done it a handful of times, probably about 10 times now. I've gotten the one shot on Wotan. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but I've ran this takedown probably hundreds of times, and most of the time, it's very hard to get that one shot on the top and bottom half at the same time. I kind of figured out how to do it, but it's still very difficult. I highly suggest just sliding and just shooting the Nukem. We don't actually have a reliable way to take out the head besides nuking it on split. Otherwise, you're going to have to bring a different gun with you, like the Dictator. Like you can shoot Scourges at the head, but it's very annoying. Sometimes he runs away from them. I've ran out of ammo trying to kill the head with Scourges before, and nuking the head while Wotan is splitting not only is like really satisfying to get that one-shot kill, but it's just the best way to do it in my opinion. So yeah, anyways guys, that's pretty much it for the build and the video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to drop a like, and if you want to see more Borderlands 3 Mayhem 4 Zane builds, then go ahead and subscribe. And once again, if you want to join the Zane Nation Discord, link is in the pinned comment down below for that. But that's going to be pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.